Okay, everybody, look, I'm just on a roll here. I apologize. Her and I are just a talking, and I did not hit the live button. So I appreciate all of you. First and foremost, I want to welcome you all to She Shift. We come in here and we empower, inspire women to go after the what's next, especially those who are over 45. And so I want to ask, I always start off with a question. First of all, I have three homework assignments for you all. So the first homework assignment is one, go grab your evening beverage and snack. Now I already ate mine. Sorry. I couldn't hold out any longer. And plus my grandkids were here. And tell us what your evening snack and beverage is. Drop it in the feed. Two, go grab your pen and paper because as I say, Shawnta is going to be dropping us some nuggets here. And I'm ready. Got my pen and got my paper. Look, I had to square it out so I know where I'm doing. And then lastly, go grab your girlfriend and girlfriends. I believe us, all of us, we can do this together. I know, and I so still practice. If we go arm in arm, we can go after our what's next, not by ourselves, with all of us together. So as you're doing that, I have a question for you all. Have you ever looked at your life and thought, I know there's more for me? I asked that question so many times because I was in that space. I was in a space sitting in a corporate office looking around like what's this is it? And let me take it a step further, everybody. I even went and asked my team, what y'all what's next? And everybody just looked at me. At that time, I cried because I'm thinking, I know I'm not the only one. And to come to find out, I was the only one thinking, this can't be it. So after I got over my little pity party and figured my life out, I created She Shift, and I created it to know that we as women, especially us over 45 or over 40, we can shift, and it's no worries and no problems and no judgment. We hold no judgment here. Now, if you come with judgment, I will tell you now, you will be dismissed from She Shift and you can't come back. So understand we're doing this for support, and we're doing it with not just by ourselves. We're doing it together. So I have on here, bring in Miss Shawnta Hill. She is an amazing woman. And I'm going to read her bio again, everybody, because I need y'all to understand what she's bringing to the table. Shawnta Hill is known to her community as a life coach 614. She is a self-care life coach, podcaster, songwriter, and the founder of Room to Breathe Project. And she has a self-care club LLC, which it began as a weekly therapy session during a season of deep personal loss, grew into a multi-platform healing movement. She's expanded the Room to Breathe podcast, blog, self-care club community, and now an original music project where she is transforming her own journal entries. Man, that's beautiful. Entries into a song of resilience and radical self-care. So without further ado, everybody, let me bring her back onto the stage, Miss Shawnta Hill.
Thank you so much for being here. You know, it's always better the second time.
I know that's right. That one felt so much better. I don't even know what to say.
Absolutely. Absolutely. You know, sometimes technology is technical and we just work through it, right?
Absolutely. And keep it moving and keep it moving. So let's talk a little bit about how did this all come about? I mean, literally, what even started all of this?
Yeah, so this entire movement honestly began through darkness. For me, and I would say late 2019, everything just got really dark for me. Nothing in particular happened, you know, no event in that moment happened. It's just, I guess the moment God decided to sit me down. And, you know, going into 2020 prior to COVID, you know, I started going to therapy. And during that process, I realized that my self-care was trash, that I had no clue of what it was. You know, I thought self-care was going to get my nails done, getting my hair done. And in my therapy sessions, I was forced to really start reflecting and doing the work, doing the shadow work. And so during that time, we fast forward a little bit, COVID happens, the world shuts down. And so that didn't do anything for my mental health. Um,
Yes.
and so I went on social media like everyone else did at the time. And I decided, you know what? I'm going to provide a service to people. I taught the girls how to do their nails during the pandemic because we needed that,
Yes.
and it was something that I could do. And so during that time, that's kind of where the self-care club piece was born. Everyone was coming in, watching, learning how to do their nails. And then eventually I just kind of got burnt out. And I'm like, I'm doing my nails every other day. I'm tired of it. And so I finally started asking, hey, I want to give this up. And people were like, well, can we continue the conversations? And I'm like, okay. So I would still push the button and I would go live and everybody would show up and we would just have these honest conversations surrounding self-care. And from there, the blog started and then it was like an unofficial podcast, really. And that's something that just kind of started. And from there, it took off and has bloomed into all of this stuff.
Amazing. Amazing. I do remember when the self-care, that's when I met you, when you started doing the self-care club. And so with that being said, when you had created that self-care club, I thought it was amazing too. I really did. But you've taken it to another level, which then calls creating boundaries. And I think we need to talk about boundaries because so many of us, and I'm gonna be honest with you guys, I'm just talking about me. I just learned what boundaries were. I thought that everyone would respect the boundaries. Well, that's not true.
Right.
I notice that people will take advantage of whatever you give them. So let me ask you this: boundaries and choosing peace comes up a lot. What does a healthy boundary actually looks like for you?
So for me personally,
Yes.
I would say for me, it looks like honoring myself. First and foremost, I was a person who would constantly react to situations. I had no idea how to respond. So if someone said something to me that rubbed me the wrong way, I was like 0 to 100. Or on the flip side, I'm also the strong one. I'm the fixer of the crew. So I was always saying yes to things that I was screaming on the inside no to. And so I had to learn that pause and how important the pause is, before you react. Give yourself the opportunity to just pause so that way you can respond to the situation. And, the same thing when people are asking you to do something, before you give your answer, you absolutely have to pause to give your mind and your body time to sync up, because sometimes your mind is so quick to say yes, but your body, your nervous system is screaming, no, don't do that. And so for me, a healthy boundary is to honestly just to kind of take that pause. So that way I'm not immediately answering or, giving something that I really don't want to give.
And I like that you say give that pause and give yourself grace. I also want to add that into, because we as women always are beating ourselves up. But when you say give yourself pause, how long is a pause? I mean, is it 2 seconds, 1 minute, 5 minutes? Is it an hour? Is it a day? Look, because me personally, I'll run it until I don't know, a day. I've lasted a week before, and then I'm like, oh, yeah, let me go back and address this. So, how long is a pause?
So I think for everyone, it's different. One of my favorite authors, Mel Robbins, she does the 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Yes.
Right. Yes. And so I think that that's a good start for anyone, and so it just gives you that opportunity to say, okay, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Yes, I'm going to do this, or no, that I'm not. But I don't think that there's really a set time limit for it, because, again, it is until your spirit feels okay with it. I tell people, pause long enough where you're going to be able to sleep at night. So take all the time that it is that you need, but you can't just say, 5 minutes, because 5 minutes might work for you.
Right.
And 5 minutes might not work for me. I might really need 5 hours. especially if we're going, into a situation where I need to respond instead of
Yes.
react.
Yes.
5 minutes might not be enough time for me to talk myself down, because certain situations, may really have you up, just angry.
Right.
So I don't really have a definitive answer for that, because honestly, I think it varies on the person, it varies on the actual situation and your environment, because sometimes you have people that are constantly rushing you and, and trying to like force you into it. That's why when people ask you a question, they wait till the last minute to ask you, because they don't want to give you time to think about it. They
True.
don't want to give you time to say no. So I
I
just say you pause until your soul or your spirit is at ease with your answer.
so my 5 days is good.
Your 5 days. Listen, if that's how long it takes,
I know
nope. Nobody told Jesus how long he could sit out.
that's
Okay,
right. I
so
know that's right. Well, we talked about, I know one of the topics we did talk on, and I think it's a perfect topic, is reset your mindset. I think that is powerful.
yeah,
So, first of all, how do that's a big animal. So let's first bring it down to baby size. So
yeah.
so how do we even, what's the first thing I need to do to reset my mindset?
So I think that in that situation, because typically we need that reset when we feel overwhelmed. So for me personally, when I feel overwhelmed, I'm going to go back to this pause, but I pause long enough to identify what I'm actually feeling instead of labeling everything as stress. In this society now, we tend to label everything as stress. We just blanket it all together. I'm stressed. I'm stressed. And so I stop and ask myself, okay, you know what? What is mine to carry today?
Mm.
Because a lot of times we go through the day picking up everybody else's baggage. So, first and foremost, I'm going to ask myself, what is mine to carry today? And I separate what is truly urgent from what merely feels urgent. And then I return to, the simple practices such as my breathing, my journaling, prayer, music is a big thing for me.
Mhm.
Just movement, rest, and honestly, the honest conversations. And again, for me, I love to give myself permission to adjust the plan without abandoning the goal. So instead of trying to solve my entire life all at once, I just reset and focus on making that next best step or that next supportive decision.
I like that. And one thing I do really, I really, that stuck out, all of it was good that you said, but the honest question. And I think that we overlook that because we don't want to answer the honest question. It's hard. It's hard. It's hard and it's hurtful. So how does someone overcome that that must needed question, honest question? How do you advise someone to move through it, to get on to the what's next, or move to the what's next?
Honestly, and this is going to sound so simple, but you just have to do it. You have to decide, is this situation, is where you're at right now costing you your peace? And
Mm,
if it's costing you your peace, then you have to go ahead and pay the price and make the decision to say, hey, this is not working for me, or I don't like this. And I look at it like this. If I'm already uncomfortable and I'm contemplating having this hard conversation or this honest conversation, then why should I be the only one uncomfortable?
mm,
So let's talk about it. If I have to be uncomfortable, we're all going to be uncomfortable.
ooh. Okay, now that's, girl, that hurt.
Yeah,
Okay.
ouch, ouch, right.
That hurt. But you're right. Why should one bear all of that weight on their shoulders? Why don't we share it? And then that also creates a beautiful relationship with two. Because may it work or may it not work, but you both know where you both stand and you can talk about it. So that, I love that there. But that hurt that you were saying that you said that. With that being said, we talk about the being the unapologetic woman and how it holds her back. How do we get over that?
You just do it. Listen, I mean, at the end of the day, the whole mission is to honor you, just to be yourself. And so why does being who you are and the human that you are, the one that God created, why do you need to apologize for being who God created you to be? You know? And
Yeah,
so
I do.
being unapologetic doesn't mean that you're overly confident or that you are on a mission to hurt other people with what you say. Like it's not about the arrogance. It's just about knowing who you are. It's about
Mhm.
knowing whose you are and carrying
Mhm.
yourself as such. There's no reason that, especially, as we mature, there is absolutely no reason for us to still be shrinking ourselves. And I know that many of us did that early on because,
Mm.
as children or as teenagers, that was a survival skill. We had to learn how to shrink in certain environments to survive. But I always tell my community, sometimes the things that used to help you survive are the very things that are strangling you, or the
Mhm.
the very things that are causing you to suffer now. So we have to grow past that. It's just like it's written, in in scripture, when it says, when I was a child, I talk like a child, I walk like a child. Okay, we're not children anymore. So
True.
we have to set certain things aside, and that shrinking, that that need to kind of put everybody else in front of you, or people pleasing, that is something that we have to put to the side. Because if we're a people pleaser, we have to understand that we're people too. So why should we be the only one that's not pleased?
I agree, but you know what? Speaking to, okay, that sounded really good, but as a former people pleaser, that current again, that hurt, but it's true. And to overcome that people pleasing kind of attitude or mentality, how do you do that? Again, yeah, do right, just do it. But sometimes, girl, my phone is over here blowing up, and they're like, just do it. Everyone's like, that's not, it sounds easy, but it's
Yeah,
not easy. So, what is one thing that you could tell a woman right now that says, I can just do it? It sounds good,
yeah.
but how? So, what is one thing you would tell that woman?
Honestly, I would say you have to sit and you have to take almost like an evaluation of your space. You have to evaluate your circle. You have to sit and analyze, okay, this is where I am right now. And if you're in a space where you are feeling hurt, if you're feeling like you have to shrink, or that you're not appreciated, whatever it is that you're going through, you have to say, is this what I want? Is this what I want to continue to happen? Is this the life that I feel like I'm being called to lead? And if it's not, you have to make a choice.
True.
I had a guest on my show before, and he talked about sitting on a tack,
Mm,
right? And so he has this whole tack philosophy, and I just love it because basically it's saying, how we always say we're sitting on the fence for something, and when
yeah,
you're sitting on the fence, you're not really getting anywhere, right?
true.
And so his whole philosophy was surrounding this tack, and he's like, it hurts. If you imagine, if you're sitting on a tack, it hurts, but if you don't ever stand up, it's going to keep hurting. And
Mm,
so that's why I say, like, you got to just do it. And it sounds impossible to some people, but
yes,
you can say, okay, look at the word impossible. Everybody can write it down in their notes right now. That's impossible. And then
right,
I'm going to tell you to pause, and I'm going to tell you to look at the word impossible. And I'm going to ask you what that word says. And
right.
if you sit long enough, you'll notice that impossible says, I'm possible.
Possible.
So as easy as it sounds, or as hard as it sounds to some, you just do it. You decide, I don't want this anymore.
Mm,
Now and the thing is, you have to keep deciding. So
true.
just because you get up and you do it today, and yay, kudos to you. Tomorrow, you got to get up and do it again and again and again. So you have to be consistent with it. You can't just say, oh, I want to be healed, or oh, I want to change. That's not going to work. You have to be willing to be consistent. You have to be willing to do the work. But again, that just do it has to happen every single day.
I do agree. That is something that I do. And you're right. We do, in order to move forward so we don't sit like where I was sitting at, looking around like, is this it? And literally in the middle of the floor. Look, I'm the only one on the row crying because I'm like, this can't
Mhm.
be it. But it was reality. It was a
Yeah.
true reality pill for everyone. So what I started doing, I do, like you say, every day, I do something every day. But let me ask you this: as we talk about doing it every day, just do it every day. Do you ever backslide or not do it every day? And if so, how do you get yourself back on track?
Yeah. So, I mean, again, I'm human, right? For me
Absolutely.
to be a master certified, self care and boundaries coach, I still get it wrong. And my community will tell you, they'll keep me honest. Okay. There are moments, yeah, I literally have the whole day mapped out from,
Hmm.
6 to 7 a.m. It is mapped out on my calendar for self care. 7 to 8 a.m. is this. So I have a strict schedule to try to keep myself accountable. However, I don't always get up at 6 a.m. you know,
Yeah.
and sometimes I do get up and I'm like, well, self care today is sleeping in late. So it's like I show myself grace. I give myself
Mm,
permission to be human
I love that.
because that's all I can be. So, yes, we make the plan. We try to set the routines in place. What helps is having accountability partners. My
Mhm.
Room to Breathe community, they're all my accountability partners. I'm checking for them, they're checking for me. We're holding each other accountable. But, you wake up with the intention, right? Because you have to put your attention on your intentions, right?
Absolutely.
So you wake up every day with the intent on doing something or being one step closer to your goal, one step better than you were yesterday. And guess what? If you fall short, you show yourself grace because you're human. And the
Absolutely.
beauty is we get to get back up, we get to try again. If at first you don't succeed, you try again
Absolutely.
and again until you get it right.
So do you celebrate your wins for
Oh,
yourself? And if so, what do you do?
I definitely celebrate my wins. Again, my community is a huge part of that. I'm always running to them and be like, okay, guys, I did a thing, you know. um, but yeah, for me, gratitude is everything. So I think the biggest part of my celebration is just being grateful, and just honestly thanking God for getting me
Mhm.
through what I thought I probably, something that I probably thought that I couldn't get through.
I understand.
um, yeah.
I understand. Okay, everybody, we have amazing people dropping nuggets and their hearts. So I'm going to ask you all, what is your win for this week? Drop it in the feed. We're going to give you a shout out. I wish I had a bell. My grandkids took the bell with them, so I can't shake the bell, but we will give you a woohoo and a clap. But I want to know, what is your win for this week? I love to celebrate and knowing that no win is small and no win is big. And even if you didn't do anything, that's still a win. You're recognizing you and you're a win. So, with that being said, Shantae, let me ask you this. Let's talk about, I think this is phenomenal. Look, I've been holding off, so I circled it and to remind myself. I I love that you have taken your journal entries and you have made it into a song.
Yeah.
Phenomenal. Or as my grandkids kid, chef kiss, chef
Yeah.
kiss. Kudos to you.
Thank you.
So I'm excited. The first one will be dropping when?
Well, actually, so I've been writing for the last 2 years. This song that's dropping now is just a new single since I've signed
Okay.
with the label, but
Yes.
definitely excited about it. But yeah, I mean, the music in general is basically our healing soundtrack. You know, I definitely talk about all the things, so from heartbreak to depression to grief, just again, celebrating your wins, loving
Mhm.
yourself. I love to write music that is packed with affirmations and, just empowering lyrics. I think that music today has kind of lost its message.
Yes.
And don't get me wrong, there is a time and place for everything. I love me some Cardi and
Everybody
everybody
else.
else, right?
Right.
But I'm not always turning up,
Right.
and twerking ain't a 24-hour thing. Okay, so there needs to be something with substance, and so I try to provide that through my lived experiences. So whether I'm writing a song about a miscarriage or grief or whatever, I want people to be able to relate to that because that's what we're dealing with in real life. Not the popping bottles and partying all
Right.
day. I mean, that's some people's life, but even underneath that, they still have these real issues, and, they're not dealing with them. So I write music for people to heal to. I write music that you can feel so that you can heal.
So where can people start hearing your music if they don't know where can they hear it at?
Oh, everywhere. We are everywhere you want to be. So yeah, Room to Breathe can be found on all music streaming platforms. So that includes, Spotify, Apple, Amazon, YouTube. You can even use it in your videos on, TikTok and Instagram. We have positioned ourselves to be everywhere. So
that's awesome. Well, congratulations. Real quick, we got to give a shout out and a win to Lady Blue Poetry. She said her win for this week is showing up for herself. Yeah. Congratulations.
Congratulations.
I'm so proud of you for doing that. Okay, I know there's more out there. Drop your wins. We love to shout you out as we just did. So with that being said, before we shift over, because I could talk about this all day, what is Room to Breathe? What's next?
The what's next, honestly, because there's already so much with it. I want to position the entire project in a way that allows us to reach more people. And it's not for the algorithm. It's not for the whole monetization kind of piece. My whole mission was to be able to reach people, to be a beacon of light for someone else. As I stated, this all started when I was in my darkness. And at the time, I didn't have anyone shining a light for me. I had people encouraging me, hey, go heal yourself, go fix yourself, but I didn't have someone actually shining the light to say, hey, come over here. It's okay. And so during that time when I hit my rock bottom, I basically, just asked God and said, if you can get me out of this darkness, because I know that this isn't life. I know that this is not what you created me for. If you can get me out of this darkness, I promise to be that person for someone else. And so at this point now, this is all a faith walk for me. It's all obedience. The music, the podcast, every single part of the Room to Breathe project and the Self-Care Club is about me being obedient to what God is calling me to do. It is me completely walking in my purpose.
I think you're doing it.
I think so too. And I'm happy about that.
You should. You should. So how does it make you feel?
Oh my gosh, it makes me feel so good because I know that I am a person who has struggled with that submission and being obedient. And honestly, if I could tell you this story really quick.
Sure.
Because it's something that literally happened today. In my podcast earlier, we were talking about preparing yourself to receive, because again, a lot of us are givers and we don't know how to receive, be it a compliment, be it help, whatever. And so in talking to my community today, I challenged them to start to be more open to receiving what God has in store for them. So you fast forward, I'm at the park doing my self-care thing, just sitting there writing music. And I actually had therapy in the park with my therapist today. And so as we're sitting there, this woman comes up and just lays her hand on my shoulder. Her name's Darla, like the Little Rascals. I will never forget this. So this lady just comes up and she sets her hand on my shoulder. And usually I'm pretty freaked out because I'm an introvert.
Yeah.
But I wasn't nervous. She didn't scare me. And she said, what's your name? And I told her, Shawnta. And she said, okay, well, Shawnta, I'm Darla, like the Little Rascals. And I just wanted to know your name because I want to pray for you. And I wanted you to know that whatever it is you're going through, that God sees you. He has not forgotten about you. And he is proud of the work that you are doing. Ooh. And when I say I immediately got chills, like I almost broke down crying. Ooh. She did not address my therapist who was sitting right across from me. She literally came and dropped that on me. And to me, that was confirmation. Like, I feel like I found myself about to hear it now, but like that was total confirmation that the message earlier was not only for my community, but it was for me too, because I do struggle sometimes with receiving. Right. And in that moment, they'll be happy to know I made them proud. I just simply said, thank you. Oh. And I was able to receive that for what it was without, trying to dig into that to say, why did she come up to me? Why is she talking to me?
Mm-hmm.
Because I didn't say anything to this woman at all. But now, I get to add Darla to my prayer list as well because she blessed me and she doesn't even know it.
Oh,
But
that is so awesome.
yeah.
That is so awesome to get your confirmation. And he really showed you. He really brought someone to show you. And you're right. When that happens, it does leave chills in your it just chills, gives me chills. I get that's so awesome. Real quick, Miss Melanie Linz, my win for the week is discovering and becoming aware of a new pattern to begin healing. Congratulations. And that's big that you're recognizing the patterns to begin the healing. So keep doing the work, ladies. I know there's more out there. You don't have to be shy. We love to shout you out. I want to give you the kudos, the flowers that you so deserve. So look, before I let Miss Shawnta go, first of all, how can people find you?
Absolutely. So the easiest way is our website, which I consider our one-stop shop for all things self-care. And that is selfcareclub.org. Like I said, there you are able to find free resources. We have affirmative apparel, motivational merch. And that's also an easy way for you to tap in with the podcast, with our Room to Breathe Project community, which is a free community powered by school. Everyone is invited. And then on social media, on all the platforms, you can find me at Room to Breathe Project. I try to keep it simple. So if you just search Room to Breathe Project, and as my sister says, I am Googleable. So if you just Google Room to Breathe Project, you will find us and I will be smiling and waving because I really think that it is just simply my job. This is what I do full time now. Just try to show up and be that reminder for people to just take up space. And as I always say, take up space, speak your truth, and make room to breathe.
So, I love it. So right at this point in time of the show, I always do rapid fire questions. Are you up for it?
Oh my gosh. Yeah, come on. Let's do it.
Okay, let's go, you guys. You guys ready? Okay, Shawnta. Coffee or tea while you're writing in your journal?
Neither. Water.
Ooh, okay.
Girl, look.
I know I already drank mine. Already drank mine. One song of yours you tell a first-time listener to start with.
Room to Breathe.
Love it. Yeah, I listened to them all. They're all awesome. Are you a morning person or a night owl?
Morning person for work, but a night owl for creativity.
Okay, like that. One word you ban from your vocabulary forever.
Can't.
Ooh. Phone on do not disturb or always reachable.
D&D for me.
So that doesn't bother you that it's always on do not disturb? I know.
Nope.
I didn't have people send a message through Messenger to say, hey, I can't reach you. I'm like, I know. It's okay.
Yeah.
It's okay.
It's okay.
The last boundary you set that felt the scariest to say out loud.
I've gotten pretty good at setting them now.
Okay.
I don't know.
That's good though. That's good.
Yeah. Because I mean, again, I've gotten really good at setting them now.
That's good.
So I don't know. You got another one for me? Because I don't have an answer for that one.
If Room to Breathe was a scent or a color, what would it be?
Green.
Ooh.
The color would be green because green represents growth.
Ooh, any scent to it?
Just something fresh, like something fresh, clean, like maybe a clean cottony type scent.
Yeah. Okay, I like that. Finish this sentence. Healing looks like blank today.
Healing looks like a choice today.
Ooh. What's on repeat on your playlist right now?
The Room to Breathe Motivation Station.
I know that's right. Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. Well, those were all my questions before we get off of here. And I want to thank you. She said, what song did you say? She said, can you say your song again?
Oh, for people to start out with, I always just direct people to Room to Breathe. The song is actually called Room to Breathe, but that was the very first song that I wrote, so why not start there? And that just kind of gives you the introduction to the community. So yeah, Room to Breathe.
Ooh, she said, that's okay. Look, we got you. Don't worry about it. So before we go, and I appreciate you and your community joining me. You guys have been amazing, as you have been amazing. What would you like to leave our listeners with?
um, Honestly, I wish that people would stop talking themselves out of the healing that they deserve. I am always saying that you cannot heal what you keep pretending that you don't feel. And so again, understanding that we all have trauma, we all have, a history that maybe we're not proud of, or, something that we had to survive. So I just really encourage people to get the help that they deserve, whether it is therapy, whether it is coaching, whether it is a community or support group. Just don't talk yourself out of what you deserve. And again, shameless plug, the Room to Breathe community is literally here for that reason, to help people heal out loud. That is something that is very big in our community. We want to heal out loud. We want to grow together. And so, yeah, I just, again, hope that people get the help to heal and to begin talking about the things that, is keeping them up at night. The things that are just sitting in their spirit that they can't seem to shake, because it's not going to go anywhere. You can keep covering it up, but eventually that stank, that smell is going to get out. So let's just start healing together.
I'm with you there. Well, I want to thank you for joining me. This was so much fun.
Absolutely.
I would love to
Absolutely.
have you come back. But before we go, I'm going to wrap it up, but then I don't want you to hang up. So I'll put you in the green room and then I'll be right back with you.
Okay. Thank you.
Thank you for coming. Oh my goodness, everyone. I hope that you have gotten your notes. I have look, I think I'm on page 3. I don't even know where my notes are, but again, as I told you, you would not be disappointed. Today, Shawnta talked about how we were going to reset. And she gave us tips on how to reset everyone, and also to be in tune with you and drop the people pleasing. Those of us, I'm included, so I want y'all to all to know that I'm no longer a people pleaser, and I want you all to join me to stop the people pleasing altogether. So with everybody, oh wait a minute, hold on, I'm gonna bring her back on, y'all. You're on mute. You're on mute. You muted yourself.
My label would be so upset with me. I forgot to invite you all to go pre-save our new single called The Joke's on You, which is dropping on August the 7th. So please, 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 you can go to selfcareclub.org, access the link from there. But yeah, go pre-save the song because I think that you guys are going to love it. So thank you.
I can't wait to hear it, you guys. Okay, I'm gonna be back with you in just a minute, Shawnta.
Okay.
Okay, you guys. So she gave us her ask. So we're going to go out there. We're going to go to the Self-Care Club, selfcareclub.org. We're going to be able to get the link to the new song called Jokes on You. And we are going to make this a sellout. But note this, everyone. Know that your what's next is around the corner, but understand that sometimes we do face obstacles. The people pleaser in us, we're always pleasing everyone, but we have to stop pleasing everyone and please ourselves. We talked about that today, and know that you are worthy and you're worth it. So if you are all knowing this and all knowing that, go out here and go after your what's next. I forgot to let you all know, tonight's show is sponsored by Vision Made. It's actually VM Magazine. It used to be called Vision Made Magazine. It is a quarterly magazine that is for women to empower and inspire them to go after their what's next. If you're interested in gaining a copy of that magazine, I'm giving it all to you free for the digital side of it. If you would like to text me at 614-674-0074 and put in their magazine, I will drop you a link. So no, you guys are all amazing today. Those of you who have not dropped drop your win for this week, you still have time. Drop it. We will still give you a shout out, and know that your what's next is possible, and you are all amazing. Until next week, everyone, take care. Bye.